So the County Assembly, you have 30 minutes to make your opening statement. Thereafter, it will be followed by the Governor's opening statement. It will also take 30 minutes.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Before we make the opening statement, there are certain preliminary matters that the County Assembly wished to raise. So with your permission, Mr. Speaker, I wish to be given the opportunity to raise them first.
You may proceed.
Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, allow me to begin by raising the fairly simple and straightforward preliminary issue. By letter dated 24th August 2025 by the firm of HK Advocates on behalf of the County Assembly. Sorry, the record may not have caught my name. My name is Elisha Ongoya for the County Assembly of Kericho. And I think for members of the Senate on late note, Mr. Speaker, who may wonder whether Mr. Mutuma and I are actually on this side, we may say that the Kabrang rule has placed us this side today. Mr. Speaker knows that better than I do. By letter dated 24th August 2025, H&K Law Advocates, acting for the County Assembly of Kericho, requested the clerk of this house to make special arrangements for one witness who suffers a physical disability in the nature of mobility impairment when that time comes. So that we don't struggle at the last minute, I would wish that Mr. Speaker directs that those arrangements be made as and when that witness is required to be put on the stand.
Yeah, those arrangements are going to be made.
Thank you so much. The second preliminary issue is also relating to another letter dated 24th August 2025 and addressed the clerk of this house. Just for context, you'll notice that among the filings made by the governor in his defense was a notice of preliminary objection, which was brought to the attention of the County Assembly when the documents were being exchanged at the clerk's designated area. In the circumstances, the County Assembly wrote to this house informing it that it will be seeking the leave of this house to file a response to the notice of preliminary objection.
I think, Council, that PO hasn't been raised yet. It's on record, but it's yet to be raised.
Thank you.
So you'll be given an opportunity to make that application once that PO has actually been raised.
Thank you. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, the final is a set of documents that we also wish to be permitted to be circulated to the senators. I'll just lay a brief context for this. There are documents which, Mr. Speaker, when you are informing the senators, you drew their attention to the documents that the County Assembly brought to this house accompanying the resolution of the County Assembly. Some of those documents, unfortunately, when we are now preparing the volumes for circulation, because of the number of volumes involved, were omitted among the documents that were delivered, and other documents were also referred to the various witness affidavits, and those documents were also omitted when we were producing the volumes because of the sheer number of volumes that were being produced. If you give me permission, Mr. Speaker, I can then draw your attention to the specific documents so that then you can consider whether or not to allow them.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, you'll remember you read among the documents that the County Assembly presented to this Senate as payment vouchers for the Department of Agriculture. You also read payment vouchers for the Department of Lands and Physical Planning. Those documents, although accompanying the motion and duly presented to the Office of Speaker, were not reproduced in the volumes that have been given to the honorable senators. We beseech you to grant us leave to have those documents circulated among the senators. We also have documents that are mentioned in the various witness affidavits, but which unfortunately were not reproduced when the volumes were being made. By name, we have a staff redeployment memo dated 10th January 2025, an internal memo of the County Government of Kericho. We have certain printouts of M-Pesa statements that are referred to in the affidavit of Eric Koech. We have the letter dated 21st August 2025 with regard to the report of the ad hoc committee on Kazi Mtaani, which, Mr. Speaker, you have alluded to. It is referred to in the affidavit of the motion mover. We have certain RTGS payment extracts that are referred to in the affidavit of Albert Koech. We have the termination letter of Enoch Koech that is referred to in the affidavit of Eric Koech. We have an invitation for a meeting with the Joint County Assembly Committee on Water and Sanitation and Environment and Forestry and Natural Resources and Minutes. The committee report of that committee, my apologies, the report of that committee is before this House, but only the invitation letter that was omitted in the course of the photocopying. Then we have bundles of invitation letters dated 18th July 2025 to appear before the ad hoc committee of the County Assembly of Kericho on fictitious payments. Again, the report of that committee is already before this House. So the only documents that were omitted were the invitation letters, which we seek that you permit to be presented to this House so that we have a complete record. Then finally, Mr. Speaker, we have certain photographs and an attendant certificate of electronic evidence. The photographs are referred to in the affidavit of Kiprotich Rogoni, and the certificate of electronic evidence is also in that affidavit, but unfortunately, in the course of mass production of the documents, they were omitted. Those documents, Mr. Speaker, we beseech you to allow the senators to have access to them so that we can have a comprehensive view of the situation. The other documents are the ones, as I alluded to earlier, relating to the answer to the PO. I would suspend dealing with those ones as director of the Speaker, and I'll deal with them as and when that PO becomes a relevant issue before this House. My learned colleague should draw my attention to something so that we don't waste time. I'll ask him to just present it to the Senate right away so that the Senate can make a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. For record purposes, my name is Elias Mutuma. I just wanted to confirm that the documents that my learned senior has alluded to have already been supplied to Council for the Governor through email yesterday, and physical copies were delivered this morning. Thank you.
Council for the Governor, do you have any objections to that request?
Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, we very strongly object. We very strongly object. It is true that we were Mr. Speaker, sir, we strongly object to the attempt to introduce new evidence at this point. It is true that this morning, as we were waiting to walk in here, we were served with the documents referred to by my colleague. Mr. Speaker, sir, the first point of our objection is that we will not have had an opportunity to have looked at them and to prepare ourselves to respond to them, considering that today is scheduled for hearing. The second objection, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that you already gave a timetable within which the filings were to be done, and we all struggled to file within that time, including ourselves, who had also equally voluminous documents. So the mere contention that it was voluminous is not good enough a reason. The third objection we have, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that they were not part of the documents that were used during the proceedings at the County Assembly. And for purposes of that point, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to make reference to your standing orders, the standing orders for this, for the Senate, particularly the standing order number 20. The standing order is to this effect. In presenting its evidence, the Assembly shall not introduce new evidence that was not part of the allegations against the Governor in the County Assembly as forwarded by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our contention that that standing order clearly prohibits the introduction of this new evidence. It is also our argument that if that evidence had been brought to the Assembly, there is also the possibility that the Assembly could have voted differently. And so, Mr. Speaker, sir, we take objection to the introduction of the new evidence, and we insist that the matter proceeds as per the documents that were filed within the timelines that you had given. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like my colleague, Mr. Wanyama, to make supplementary submissions on the issue.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honorable Senators, just an additional remark. If you look at paragraph 16 of the motion and the entire motion, there is certainly evidence which the mover of the motion wanted to adduce before the County Assembly. At paragraph 16 of the motion, the mover of the motion specifically said on the floor that that evidence will be sought after asking the House to issue summons. And throughout the motion, you will see that then there is no evidence. An allegation has been made and no attaching evidence has been adduced. So that was the evidence which was submitted before the County Assembly and a decision made on them. So in accordance with your rules, and we strongly object to this, the County Assembly cannot introduce new evidence, even if it was mentioned in the pleadings before the County Assembly. It cannot introduce that new evidence before this House at this stage for only one reason. It's extremely prejudicial to the governor. And secondly, the governor has not had the opportunity to prepare on this evidence. But more importantly, this evidence requires comment from the governor. And therefore, the right to fair hearing will be severely breached if this evidence, which the County Assembly is now doing a patchwork, is introduced at this stage. And lastly, it will contravene your express, clear, and unequivocal rules that no new evidence shall be introduced on the Senate if they are not part of the evidence submitted against the governor in the County Assembly. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, may I have a brief right of reply?
Council, let me just make a ruling on this matter. We make progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We've had your position. We've had the governor's position. Now, if I had counsel for the County Assembly correctly, is that the evidence related to those documents is already in our bundles, the original bundles. These documents were omitted by mistake during the compiling of those bundles. They do not introduce any new evidence as is being submitted by the counsel for the governor. And therefore, pursuant to Rule 30 of the Rules of Procedure, I will allow those documents to be admitted. Counsel for the governor, you may take to the stand and make your opening statements.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we had indicated that we are raising a preliminary objection. Although, allow me to make the observation, Mr. Speaker, sir, that much as you have made your ruling based on the premises that they were excluded, though they were part of the evidence, they were not part of the evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir. These are new documents that have never been part of this case. The nearest you could say is that they were referred to or they were alluded to in the charges, but they have never been part of the evidence. Mr. Speaker, sir, we filed a notice of intention to raise a preliminary objection, and the same was part of the filings we did within the timeline you gave us. The nature of our preliminary objection, Mr. Speaker, sir, is to contend that there was no voting that took place, and therefore it implicates the requirement, number one, that voting must have been done at the Assembly, and number two, that a 2/3 threshold should have been achieved. It is our contention that the approach adopted by the Speaker in the County Assembly, the documents filed, including the audit of the logs of the process, will show that indeed there was no voting system. Mr. Speaker, sir, I pray that you allow us to raise that preliminary objection to the effect that indeed no voting took place and that 2/3 was not achieved, and therefore your jurisdiction has not been triggered as a Senate.
So, Counsel for Governor, you have 15 minutes to raise your appeal. Counsel for the County Assembly, you'll have 15 minutes to respond, and thereafter the Senate will make a determination on the matter.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the issues we raise in our preliminary objection are that we will start